Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us at Ricina Middle East. With me today is Vinod Dham, the father of the Pentium chip, founder and executive managing partner at IndoUS Venture Partners in the USA. Welcome, Mr. Vin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. I want to start with the Pentium chip. They call you the father of the Pentium chip. Can you start by explaining how it came about?
Yes. Prior to doing Pentium, I was working on 486, and prior to that, it was 386. These numbers denote different generations, increasingly more complex microprocessors, which are the basic brain of a personal computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop. And Pentium is the first one that we actually deviated from calling a number, like 386, 486, to a name, because you can copyright a name, but you cannot copyright numbers. So that was the reason why we changed it. So I was in the middle of 486 in terms of running a good business. Things were going very well, and the Intel management decided that it was time to really lead the program on the Pentium. So they asked me to step in and be the person who will lead the program.
And you've been instrumental in shaping the hardware revolution with regards to the Pentium chip. How do you see hardware innovation aligning with AI advancements to address global economic challenges?
Yes, so it's very interesting. It's very different with AI than it was with the Pentium. When we were building Pentium, these chips were costing us maybe a couple of $100, $50 to make. We were selling them for $200, $300, $400. The GPUs today, which are a very different type of a processor, cost $40,000 for just one set of chips. They're so expensive that an average person cannot buy them and use them at home. So they're only being bought by big companies in specialized centers where they run them. The average person only uses them for inference or to just, like ChatGPT, you'll ask a query and it'll give you the answer. So much different ball game than what we played during our time.
And I want to know more about the Pentium chip. Was it being used in any of the technologies that we see today, or maybe in your respective country or different other
Yes,
countries?
Pentium, so the subsequent generation of Pentium, in like 386 went to 486 in Pentium, and it kept on going up and up and up. So the latest generations are called core CPUs from Intel. AMD has its own chip called EPIC, so they're quite comparable. These chips are still being used significantly in data centers, in their servers for doing certain tasks. But the tasks that AI needs are special. You are much more, I would say, compatible with AI. The reason is GPUs, as they call them, they stand for Graphic Processing Unit. CPUs that we were building were Central Processing Unit. The basic difference was the graphic processing unit were designed to do a lot of parallel computation that you need for gaming, for example, that you want to just show a complex pixel display or something. So you have to have a lot of parallel computing going on. In CPUs, don't need parallel computing, you need certain tasks. It turned out, luckily for the world, and I guess especially for NVIDIA, that those chips were also very suitable for AI. The reason is AI also uses parallel computation of matrices to solve a lot of the problems, and they were just synergistically very handy. And once NVIDIA found out that those chips were also good for AI, they went around and created a moat around it with a complete software stack. And now the rest of the world is looking in and cannot really copy that because it's legally defended. And so they are the only game in town.
I want to talk more about, with the conversation of microchips and processors and the usage of them within tech. We saw that during COVID-19, there was a shortage of microchips. And then now it became, how they say geopolitics. Now it's a geotech situation where each country is strong within its technologies. What's your opinion on that, and how politics and technology are being integrated together with like geography, politics, and tech?
Yes. So during COVID, what happened was everything shut down. So schools shut down, universities shut down, and people had to stay home. and work from home and even get the education at home. So suddenly there was a need for more computers. If you have 2 kids and your wife is also working from home, 4 people needed 4 computers to work from home. So suddenly there was a huge demand peak, which nobody had anticipated. So it looked like a shortage, but it was really shortage because the demand went up, and not because there was some issue with the supply chain. And subsequently, after COVID, as the AI, it became apparent that this AI thing will become crucial for strategic military uses, like in drones, in fighting wars, in warfare weaponry. That sudden realization made countries like USA, which really on the leading edge, realize that maybe we should not have this technology be freely given to everybody in the world, especially those countries they feel they are likely to be threatened by. So they were only restricting those supplies to the so-called trusted nations that they felt it was okay to give it to. And that's really where we are today.
And what's your opinion on that? About where are these chips being misused, and what are your opinions about the U.S. providing these to trusted nations, according to you?
So I'm of the opinion that it's a right thing to do for USA to supply to trusted nation, because the AI chips have become more like the nuclear weapons of the 1940s and 50s. If you could give away the recipe for building bomb to everybody, then there will be chaos in the world. So only America had the knowledge, and then clearly Russia gained it somehow, and then other people started figuring it out. Same way, I think America is trying to keep it to themselves. I'm afraid that it will not be possible because somehow that information will leak out. But one thing that America has done that will make it very difficult for the rest of the world to replicate the bomb-like situation is there's some fundamental complex machinery needed to build these chips. And those machines are only being made by USA or companies that USA controls. And therefore, if those machines will not be given to anyone to make those chips, then I think it's going to be very hard for their potential enemies to build those chips.
This was my question about geotech, because some countries can make certain types of technologies.
Yes.
I also know that you're the founder and the managing partner of a venture capital. Speaking of venture capital, for my last question, it often drives the future of technology, of course, with investments. What role do investors play in ensuring AI startups prioritize ethics and long-term societal benefits alongside making profit?
You know, to be very frank with you, I'm not making AI investments, and I'm not really making investments in my fund anymore. But in Silicon Valley, most of the venture capitalists are making significant investments in AI. I don't believe they individually are very much scrutinizing, only investing in those entrepreneurs who are going to make more responsible AI, if you will, although it's the responsibility of the team and the CEO to have that thought. So there are companies who truly are focusing on that, but most of the companies, for example, even ChatGPT initially, you know, an entrepreneur really wants to get his technology out in the market. They are not that worried about its misuse, although they should be at some point. I don't deny, but if you start worrying about it from day one, then your ability to get your innovation out of the door itself gets hampered.
For sure. Mr. Vin, thank you so much. My last question is, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything to add. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.